Hi there, Mike Ward with Back Creek Custom Rods here again. We've got another restoration on tap. This is an old 10-foot Garcia surf rod. And how many of you have seen aluminum pipe for the lower end of some of these old surf rods? It was used a lot. This is a 1-inch diameter aluminum pipe used from the handle all the way back to the butt. Here I'm removing the cork off of the rod. Fortunately, it came off pretty easily. We can see a lot of, I guess, aluminum corrosion underneath that cork from the years of, I guess, salt air and salt water probably soaking through the cork and getting up under that handle. But was able to get that off pretty easy. And then this trim piece I wanted to preserve. It was in pretty good shape and I want to be able to go back with it. So just picking out some of the cork and the epoxy there. Didn't come loose here, but after a little more work it came on free. Now this reel seat has seen better days. You see it split right down the middle, I guess, from the corrosion over the years. Tried to pop it apart there with a screwdriver where it was already split, but knew that was probably going to not work, so broke out the trusty Dremel. And in this case, it's nice, and certainly need to be careful with using that Dremel tool, taking reel seats off, but with it sitting on top of the aluminum pipe, it gave me a little bit of forgiveness there, thankfully. Made the job a little bit easier. So cut down one side, worked to see if I could get it free from one end. Did need to go back and cut the other side as well. After a little bit of prying that was unfortunately off camera there, but I was able to get the trim rings off. This seat not only was cracked there, but it was seized up with the locking nuts were corroded up as well. So after cutting both sides down the middle, was able to just pop it right on off. No shimming or anything underneath this reel seat. Just a little bit of epoxy was there, and just needed to move on now to cleaning up the aluminum pipe here that was used for the butt. Just use a razor blade to scrape it on off, scrape that corrosion and what little bit of epoxy was there up and down that pipe as a whole. Didn't take too long, a little bit longer than this sped up video, of course, but it wasn't too bad. Just got a lot of dust and stuff everywhere. Finished it off with a little bit of Scotch-Brite just to clean things up. It's going to get new cork and a new reel seat here shortly enough, and so we're good to go. Then moved on to starting to remove the old guide wraps, and then obviously the guides, just keeping the blade very flat to the surface. This thread has definitely seen better days. All the dry ride, just extremely dry and not much there. But interesting here, you can see how these old rods were done with a mylar type wrap around it, and then actually the yellow, the white there was painted, or maybe it was actually it may have actually been a decal. I can't remember. I think the white was paint. So a lot of times they use paint for the trim rings for these production rods. I'm just going to kind of clean it up, mainly to get it nice and flat, because I'm going to come back and just wrap all this with thread. I'll use a silver metallic and some others at that point. Basically got all the guides done. Not showing that here, but here you see where we've kind of stripped it all the way down. Where you see those kind of bare spots in the paint, that's actually where the feet on the guides is sort of worn on the blank over the years. So this guy's going to get this rod blank, excuse me, is going to get a couple coats of permagloss to bring the shine back, and then we'll be ready to move on to wrapping the guides and reel seat and cork and make it look like new.